Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will check out the OPO, or no, it's actually not an OPO, it's a structure deck red purple Luffy. He's kind of like an exception, only 3 life, which is kind of unique, I would say. There are not so many leaders, I guess, which have 3 life or even less, or yeah, because usually you have 4 or 5 lives as a mono or as a dual color leader, usually 4. But yeah, he got an additional 1000 power, so that's why he only got 3 lives. So it's kind of like an exchange, like more power for less life. But in general, I think it's a strong deck, a meta deck for sure. Maybe tier 1.5. Yeah, probably a really strong deck at the moment. He benefits a lot from all of the strong purple new cards, which, especially from the Luffy purple structure deck, I'm not sure if it was ST 16 or 17, I'm not sure. But oh, we can even check here. Oh, even 18. Okay, ST 18. Yeah, he benefited a lot from the newer Monkey D. Luffy or Straw Hat type crew support, which is really nice. And some new red cards also included, like the Divine Departure from OP11 and also the Tony Chopper, which is a nice blocker for sure. Maybe not the strongest one in this deck. I felt like in the Smoker deck it was really strong as a 7k power blocker only for 4 cost. So really nice. Here it's only a 6000 power blocker in the opponent's turn, but anyways, still a cool card, and I quite enjoyed the new edition. Also, we included the EVO2 card, Nico Robin, which is quite nice for gaining in additional surge, just for minusing 1 Don, which in the early game, I'm not gonna lie, feels always kind of bad. Like if you're losing some of the Don, same as the secret wear, which can return to Don for getting stand up again, which feels not that good in the early game, but in the late game it feels really strong. Same with the Nico Robin. Divine Departure was a cool card. I actually had some problems, at least sometimes, to really use the card, because in the more earlier stages where you need some support from blockers or from counter cards, you sometimes don't want to leave 1 Don open, because usually you have a really good curve like Nami for the 1 Don turn. Maybe the 2 Don turn is not that beneficial. You can play a Nami anyways and then maybe use a Divine Departure, but for the 3 Don turn you usually want to use the Zoro Juro, and for the 4 Don turn the Mr. Bonk. So yeah, there are some options and kind of nice curve cards. So it felt sometimes a little hard to include this card, or at least really play the card in the game, which sometimes I felt like an additional 2k would have been also nice, especially because you also play the Gargoyle Giant, which is for sure a late game card. But yeah, I feel like maybe you could bump this down as a 2 off, possibly. But anyways, let's let's talk about the other cards. It's just some 2k counter cards. The new gate is kind of common for even increase the power way higher to 8k. The new Monkey D. Luffy secret rare was really nice to just rush and restand it in the mid game, kind of. I felt it felt a little wrong to take one of your lives sometimes. Sometimes I have to admit I forgot about the taking life part, but anyways, it's still a really strong card, especially the rush aspect, or the rush part of the card. So yeah, really nice card. This one is also 2k. The Nami blocker also quite nice for the later turns. If you have like 8 or more Don, discard a card and you can draw 2, so you go technically +1 for a blocker, which is nice. She's definitely one of the weaker blocker, but anyways. Yeah, so let's dive right into the video. So we will start with the structure deck Luffy. Oh, wait a second. We'll go back to the lobby. Yeah. Okay. So 1.5. Yeah, we play out the Nami, which is probably one of the best starts to get the searcher. Yeah, there's the Tashigi for additional minusing. Yeah, we can go 7 into life. Yeah, he takes it for sure. 5 left leader usually takes the first one, especially if it's a 7 into 5. We probably could have also done a 6 into 5 and it wouldn't hurt that much. Yeah, probably would have made sense to either start with the 5 Don first, or the 5k attack with the 3 Don for Nami, or maybe make a 6-6 would have also worked. So yeah, at this point he can attack with Tashigi into Nami if he wants to, and then 6 into lead. Yeah, we give him Nico Robin. Okay, we are now in the magical mid number where we can play out the Luffy, because we cannot ramp high enough now for our high cost character. And the Luffy is like a nice addition in the middle, as I said. Like usually there work cards like Yasop, or I think it was the 7 cost Kid Purple, which were really nice. And this is quite sad that he could have KO'd our Luffy that easy. But yeah, I feel like in general, like the Luffy is a really nice card at this point. Let's go back a little. Because you can restand him. I chose to not do it at this point because I felt like taking a life is maybe not the best idea. I probably could have done it, but I also didn't want it to return 2 Don, which hurts quite a lot our ramping style. So in the late game, this card is probably the best idea. Yeah, so now we can play the new gate, buff our Luffy with additional 2000, so it's an 8 cost character, 8 power character, 8000. Yeah, so we go in Tashigi so he cannot KO our new gate. At least I hope that he's not able to KO it that fast. Yeah, a little sad, he gave us 2 cards, which is quite interesting why he's fighting so hard for Tashigi. So I was thinking about now to go into the Tashigi, 5 into 4. Let's see if he protects. There's another 2k. Okay, and I will not use the ability again for not losing our Don. I mean, at this point I probably could have used the card. Maybe it was a slight misplay. Just for attacking again or KOing the Tashigi, probably. But I felt like he gave me so many cards for the Tashigi, was already on the win side. Like, he is fighting probably kinda hard. He only has 2 cards in life. Okay, he plays the Jack. Also kinda unlucky, like the Gecko Moria would have been probably the better decision. Maybe with the Hina to KO something. But he also didn't have any Brook in the trash, so yeah, maybe there was no good option for him. So we counter out everything, and there's the Divine Departure, really nice. And we could KO the Jack at this point, and then he just surrendered. Because he only has 1 Gecko Moria, 2 Ice Age, and Nico Robin left. The Nico Robin is a really strong card, so at this point he could have also used the Gecko Moria for playback or return the Rebecca from trash he sent there earlier. But I feel like, yeah, at this point he didn't even have one Don or 2 Don character in trash, I guess. So yeah, it was kind of unlucky for him, like the drawing, and also I felt like he misplayed a little on giving me so many cards for the Tashigi. You can see that at this point or at this turn we probably could have played the Luffy, or even use the Divine Departure, which I wanted to check like how many dawns I need to use for the second ability, so it's 6 in total. And then I could have KO'd the Jack, which is really strong. Then maybe going with Luffy into, maybe with our leader into Tashigi, then maybe with Luffy and Sanji. And he had 0 counter power. So I could have probably then played the Luffy or go safe for the New Gate and then swing into life. Like we were in a really strong position here. Like maybe he could have tried to KO our New Gate, but if we would have get rid of the Jack, then we would have, yeah, we probably had such a high advantage over him. Let's see if we can see what kind of cards he had in trash. Yeah, okay, so the Rebecca. Did he trash any more cards? Ah yeah, okay, he trashed the Sengoku. Or Sengoku? Sengoku? I'm not sure. Forgot the name of him. But yeah, he trashed 2 cards, I guess. Let's see. Also the T-Bone, which is also, I think, a 4-cost character. Yeah, so he saw the writing on the wall. It was not the best position he was in. So I guess it was fine for him to surrender. Maybe a little early. But yeah, Red Purple Luffy definitely has a strong late game. So yeah, definitely not that easy. So let's go into the Sanji Zoro game. It's definitely a hard game for us because Sanji and Zoro is a really pushy deck. And they got some support cards. Let's check the Sanji is... Okay, it's not a support card or like a new support card, but anyways a strong card. And yeah, what is the weakness of Red Purple Luffy? For sure the early game. Like if you attack a lot of 6k attacks, it's really hard for this deck to compete. Like you need at least 2 or 3 turns to go into your late game before you can ramp up for the New Gate or even the Rush Luffy, which are really strong, not gonna lie, but it's kinda hard to go there. So yeah, he plays out the Gecko Moria. So we were a little safe last turn for not getting attacked. Okay, we went ramp up with the Zoro, quite nice. And now I was thinking about playing the Nico Robin for having an additional blocker on board. The problem is like we cannot play both. Like we cannot play the Nico Robin and the Zoro duo again, which is a little sad. Would have been cool if we play 2 Zoro duos out and ramp even faster. Like next turn then probably... Yeah, okay, we have to give 1 Dawn to the Zoro. So maybe kinda hard to already establish 9 Dawn for the Luffy, but yeah, okay. He bottom decks our Nami and then makes our Zoro cannot attack with the Boa, so anyways, we are not able to, or we wouldn't have been able to attack, at least with one of them. But kinda unlucky for him. It's like it's no, or maybe not unlucky, but kind of interesting how he plays. Usually you want to attach a Dawn and attack like 2 or 3 times one turn. So at this point I probably wouldn't have attacked with, or played out the Boa. Maybe I would have tried to attack with a lot of 6k attacks with Moria, especially because he has double attacks. So if he would have been able to attack, yeah, maybe 2 times with Moria as a double attack, would have been really strong. So we play out the Luffy, just go for... Did we went for life? No, we went for... Oh yeah, we went for life. The first attack from our leader was for Moria. Yeah, just straight go into life. It's without any blocker, like 10 into 5 is kind of strong. I mean, I don't know his hand. He probably... Blue always has a lot of counter cuts, especially a lot of 2Ks, but yeah, I feel at this point Okay, there's a blocker, Sanji blocker. 3 cost, probably not the best card in my opinion. If you have 3 or less card in your hand, this character gains plus 4000. But only on your turn, which is a little sad because you want only like a lot of power on your opponent's turn as a blocker. Because if you attack, like, yeah, he cannot counter or block anyways. Okay, he goes with 10 into 10. I'm not sure why. We just give him a 1k. That was definitely not the strongest idea. Now he takes 6 into 6 and attaches 1 Don to his leader, which is definitely a good idea. But yeah, as you can see, like, you can return one of your 2 or higher cost cards to owner hand and then restand one of your character. Like, I think it has to be a 4 cost or lower character, let's see. With less than 7000 power, and Boa has 8000 or at this point even 10. So I don't know why he didn't attack with the Sanji first. It would have been probably a really strong turn, even if he couldn't finish our Luffy. Just string 3 times, or maybe with the Boa 4 times into our leader, would have cost us a lot of cards. So yeah, we see, like, or at least I tried to check if he wants to give us the last life. Also, he has 2 Don open, which I think is kind of confusing at this point. Like, why not just swing with the Sanji? So yeah, he blocks the 10k attack, which makes a lot of sense. So now we return 7 into 5. And yeah, stand the character again. And this is kind of like the strong idea behind the new Luffy secret rare. You are at 10 Don, you return 2 Don, like you attack, then return 2 Don. So you can restand the character, and now you are only at 8 Don. But your leader can stand, or like take 1 Don from the Don deck back as active. So you can gain then an additional Don because you are only at 8 Don, which you usually couldn't because you are at 10 Don and you cannot take then 1 Don from the deck and just return 1 Ron rested. So yeah, this is like a really nice combo to gain an additional Don. So you're technically only paying 5 Don for 7k rush character, which can also restand himself. So yeah, technically attack 2 times with 7, or make him unattackable, so you can restand him and then make the opponent, like, don't give the opponent a chance to attack into him, which is quite strong. I think I really enjoyed the new Luffy secret rare. I enjoyed the Yasop as well, but this one is still also a really good option at this point, I guess. So the next game is against Nico Robin, one of my favorite decks to play against. So we have, yeah, a really strong early hand. Like, sadly no Nami, but in general we have a lot of 3 and 4 costs, which is quite nice. Yeah, at this point this is always the point where you need to think about, do I want to give 2 of my cards from hand for 1 life? Or do I really want to just let 1 life go? And yeah, for the first one, especially if he attacks with 3 Don, he can have it. So we play the Bon Clay. We probably could have played the Bon Clay more earlier and then attached it on to our Luffy. But I feel like at this point, yeah, maybe he would have used the trigger for KOing the Bon Clay for Nami or something. Yeah, so now we need to counter out, which feels a little sad. Like, maybe we should have counter out the first one last turn, but yeah, I didn't want it to go at the. Was already the 5th turn? I'm not so sure. Well, yeah, turn 3 on the top. It says here, yeah, there, turn 3. Yeah, I didn't really want it to go to 1 life so early. Especially we are not really... Oh, there is the Kaido Lin, and a really strong card at this point. So you're probably a little scared if you see the card gets dropped. Because if you don't have a Gum Gum Red Hawk, you can really not do a lot. So what we can do is still go into life for ramping, trying to get some cards out of his life. So we only need to play the Nico Robin for using her on KO effect. Okay, so he counters out with 2 cards, which is fine, I guess. Yeah. So now playing attacking with the Bonclay. Really sad he got the Kikonoju trigger, which feels really bad, especially like this is the most important combo, playing Kikonojus and then using the Kaido and Linlen and then KOing with the Kaido, Linlen and the Kikonojus for triggering her on KO effect. So 9 into 5. We leave another trigger for searching, really strong for her. We leave one door open for the Gum Gum Giant. He takes the God Thread. She takes the God Thread. KOing blocker for the future is really nice. Okay, she even plays the Eustace Kid. I mean, it's 8 done for nothing, I feel like. But at least yeah, at least she can KO another from our lives, or trashes the life. Okay, there's the Nami search, nice, maybe for the future. We take the 1k and maybe as a search, I don't know. So now she attacks with 12 into 6, trashes 1 of our lives. We probably should have taken the last life from the Kikonojo attack. So now we play the Gum Gum Giant and use... Yeah, we barely came out of this attack. So at this point, we could try to KO the Kaido and Linlen, but then we are dead next turn, which is definitely not something we want to achieve at this point. So we are really lucky that we came out of this big attack. But yeah, we start with the Nami for gaining an additional card, playing another Nami for a second additional card. So you always go +1 if you trash this one. So 2 blocker, I'm feeling a little safe. I know she has the God Thread in hand, but she only is at 2 done. So yeah, she trashes a trigger card, another KOing card, like the 6 cost Queen Bomber. We can play the Divine Departure here for saving our blocker, and then another blocker. So yeah, at this point we could try to go all into the Kaido and Linlen, but the problem is she still have the God Thread. So if we are not able to... Oh yeah, we know there's only the God Thread in hand. Yeah, sure. So we can probably go with 7 Dawn. I mean, we did need it too, but anyways, it doesn't matter because we know her last life, her last hand card, and she's only she will not be able to counter out of Kaido and Linlen, and we wouldn't need the last Dawn anyways. So yeah, she uses the God Thread, KOing our Nico Robin. I'm not sure why she's not KOing the Nami, which probably would have been the way stronger KO. Yeah, so we can counter out with a 2k here, which feels really good to always keep one blocker active. And we get the Gum Gum Giant, also really nice. So yeah, just straight up 6 into life. I forgot that if you return one, you can ramp one with your leader. So nice, another 1k counter. She gets the Nico Olvia trigger, really nice for her to get some more cards in hand, but she's definitely in a bad position here. She trashes a Kaido and Lin Lin, okay. Yeah, she probably cannot use the card again. And we establish a small board at least here. So now we are in a really good position. It's kind of crazy that we really came out of the situation, and always something you need to be scared of if you play the Kaido and Lin Lin. Because your opponent keeps his 10 dons while you go back to 0. Okay, so she goes all in and hoping that she can KO Luffy. I don't know what her hand looks like, but that is definitely a really bad idea. We just needed a 2k. So 10 into 5, let's see if she has it. Like the counter for it. She needs 3 cards for it, which is a little crazy. And she has it. Okay, interesting, but she's trashing her whole hand. Okay, that's crazy. So now we know we can go in here for sure. Okay, she gets the trigger. You are the one who should disappear, really strong. And now we play the new gate. Have one done open for the giant, and she cannot get around or blocker. So her last life would have been the God's Thread, but yeah, it wouldn't have saved her anyways, because we had then 3 attacks, which is too strong for just 1 life and 1 card in hand. So as you can see, like the red purple Luffy is definitely a more resilient leader. Like you can come back kind of easy, and you have a lot of blocker in deck. But you definitely, or a lot of tech choices, but you definitely need to be a little lucky to get the cards. But we were at this point, and yeah, feels really good to be the Kaido and Lin Lin player and having a comeback at this point. So now we're playing against Buggy. I don't know if you saw it, but the promo 7-cost Buggy is announced. I think it will be in one of the next tournament packs, which are quite nice. I'm not sure what is the name of the packs, but the card or the pack is usually given at locals, which is quite nice. So you probably can get it for really cheap money. It's kind of sad. I think it wasn't a super rare. It was just a common, which is a little sad, but yeah. Okay, you can see the Buggy player goes really ham. I mean, it's kind of common for under 5 Don play for him, because he needs to have the 5 Don. So now we play out the Zoro, and Bon Clay actually was kind of risky. Like we saw, he played really aggressive. So maybe we should have played out the blocker Nico Robin. But I thought at this point, like maybe it's fine to go for the Bon Clay, and it actually was fine. So it paid off to go a little risky here. We could have saved the Zoro Drew if we wanted to. With the... Oh no, we actually couldn't, because of the Divine Departures only for the leader ability. I forgot about that. So yeah, we played out the new gate. So we probably can KO next turn also the Mr. 3, which feels always kinda nice to KO the small ones. Okay, there's the Gum Gum Red Hawk. Feels bad if your 9-cost new gate gets bottom decked. Okay, and he goes with the Mihawk into life. I mean, he still has the 7-cost promo Buggy. This is also the card I was talking about. Like, we will get that in the future. And there's another new gate, quite nice. Because the Buggy prevents our Bon Clay, like all 3 and 4 cost, from attacking. Which is a little sad, because our Bon Clay could be really beneficial as a secondary attacker. I mean, he would be KO'd next turn anyways by Mr. 3. But if we can KO the Mr. 3 with our new gate, then we probably would be able to attack with the Bon Clay without him, yeah, really getting a lot of benefit or like a lot of advantage over it, because he needs to attack with maybe his leader or his Mihawks, which feels a little bad to attack into Bon Clay with one of them. So he still has 5 done open. Okay, I'm a little confused, like how did he play the second Mihawk? Let me check. I'm a little confused, like why he played the Mihawk. There. Buggy, Trash Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, Buggy Deploy, Draco Mihawk. Can you use the leader ability twice per turn? It looks like. I didn't even know that. And I was actually a big fan of Buggy in the early game. Like in the early season of Season 9. And I didn't really notice that you can use the ability twice. Is this a bug or is it? I don't know. I need to check later also. I didn't even realize at the game itself that Buggy just used the leader ability twice. Crazy. So now he bottom decked our new gate. I mean, he lost a lot of cards. He needs to trash 2 and then play out 2, so he's only at 2 hands. Like his hand size is shrinking to 2, which is really nice for us. So we can go a little defensive here. We still have 2 lives left. I mean, we could use the Divine Departure for getting rid of his Buggy. And there's another new gate, which feels really good. So let's see if we use the Divine Departure. But probably it makes sense to play another army and just trash one of our Divine Departure. I also just realized that they're at the bottom right side. I probably recorded this game in the wrong. I have different how do you call it? Like different masks for my recording program, and I just probably forgot to change to the gameplay, which I usually record without the camera at the bottom right. So yeah, let's go back for a second. I was focusing a little too much on the black screen at the bottom right. Okay, so we returned the turn back to him, and we just played out the second Nami and draw 2 cards, which is kind of nice. And he just gave up. I'm a little confused, like why he gave up at this point. Like he was in a kind of good position, I guess. Also, he drew a card. I mean, we can think about like how this game would have went further. Like the next trigger would have been really good for him because he could have just draw 2, trash 1. No, it's just draw 2, right? Yeah. There's no trash 1. This is really strong for just gaining this trigger. And he still had 2 blocker open, and he just needed to get rid of the Mr. Sriya. Probably he gave up because he couldn't really... How did he lost? He played a lot of Sanji Pilaf, and he tried to draw into one of his Kopo cards, like probably like the Crocodile or something. So yeah, he only got 2Ks and 1K and the big Buggy. I mean, he could have played out the stage, which would have been kind of nice, so he can trade both of the Mr. 3 for 2 new cards. And maybe just go with both blocker into life. I mean, he was kind of safe for Bon Clay attack, and we only had our leader ability for the next turn. So what we would have done here is played out the new gate next turn probably, or depends if he would have went with both of the Mihawk, but probably we would have played out the Newgate and maybe the Monkey D. Luffy if he attacked with both of them for just going 10 into one of the blocker. But yeah, I guess he was in a really strong position. And then he maybe... I mean, he also could have traded... Just guess he would play out the stage for one down, then he had still 2 left, and then he maybe could have played out one searcher also. Or maybe he didn't even needed to play out the searcher. He could have attacked also with his buggy just for 7, which is definitely not that bad. And then with 1 or 2 attack from his Mihawk, we probably would have used the Divine Departure, and we probably would have taken 1 life and defended from the other one. Then play out the Newgate in addition to 2 costs. Yeah, it's really hard to say at this point who would have won. But I feel like at this point he definitely were in a good position. Not so sure why he gave up at this point. So let's go into our last game for today. Yeah, we have the Searcher. We're playing against Yamato. I don't know if you saw it, but there were kind of new structure decks released. And like new 6, and one of them is Yamato. Also, I think there was Blackbeard, Shanks, Black Purple Luffy. Like really cool structure decks, at least in my opinion. So he only goes to 1, or she goes only 1 into like 6 into 6. Can counter out with Nami. Then KO with our Nami, the Jewelry Bonnie. Then attach 1 down, 7 into 5. So he probably takes it, or she probably takes it. Also, Yamato usually plays a lot of trigger, so yeah, I think it makes sense to take it. No trigger, unlucky. No, but it's quite cool that there are new structure decks incoming. And I guess in OCG they are coming in summer. So maybe here in late autumn or something. Which is kind of nice because I definitely hope for the new reprint set, which is also announced. I think it was for September or something, like a little earlier than the last one, like PRB 2. And I really hope for the Silver Rayleigh to get reprinted so I can play the Shanks, which I think is quite a nice deck. Also cool that the Blackbeard is getting a structure deck, so probably a cool card, or probably there will be some cool cards in it for an even stronger Blackbeard deck. But let's see. Okay, she takes another life, and she gets a trigger, so our blocker is kind of useless at this point. Kinda unlucky. I mean, at least we get the search if we want to, but I feel like at this point we probably will not use the search. But yeah, he will, or she will KO it for sure. 2 into 2. Okay, yeah, we let it go. We cannot do anything about that. I don't know why she gave the Basil Hawkins 1 down more. I feel like she should gain the 8 down. Okay. Maybe she thought for 7 to 6 I will counter, but yeah, I mean I could have countered also and keep the Sanji. Okay, we play out the Newgate, use the Luffy. Did we ramp the Dawn here? Let's check. Yep, we ramped the Dawn, okay. And played out the Newgate, really nice. Then 8 into 5 she will take, and now she's only at one life, like her last life. And she uses the Raigo. Really nice for her that she took the last life. Definitely planned from her, and now she has 3 attacks. She attacks 8 again, okay. I don't know, she should have attacked 8 with her leader. But maybe she wants to leave her Basil like rested, so maybe she's hoping from my side to KOing it or attacking into it. But no, definitely no, we want to keep her alive. Another Raigo. We definitely get Raigo here. Our hand size is getting kind of small. So definitely also a weakness of the deck if the opponent is able to KOing all of your big character, you are definitely in a bad position. So we start with the Nami blocker. Maybe trash the Divine Departure. And there is 2 secret rares, really nice. We can still play out the 6 Force Luffy, just go into life, use the Dawn, return to, and then we can stand up an additional Dawn for the Gum Gum Giant, which is a really strong combo. So 7 into life, another 7. She gives us the blocker and Rampadon and 6 into life. Let's see. Okay, 2k, nice. So her hand size also got kind of small. I mean, we lost all of our life at this point. Did we use it for? Yeah, we took it. Yeah, as I said, like at this point, I totally forgot about taking life, and I'm not sure if it really was the right decision to take the life at this point. It was kind of aggressive. It probably would have been also fine if we only attacked once into Yamato. So 6 into 6. We give 1 clay. We probably, yeah, we will not need it at this point anymore. 7 into 6. She's definitely going for life. I'm not sure why she. Okay, she left 2 down open for a blocker. Is fine, but probably she should have went just all in. Maybe she was a little scared. I mean, like I also didn't use the Nami blocker, so yeah, maybe at this point. So we could play the Rush Luffy and then just straight go for life. She only has 3 cards in hand, so it's kind of likely to rush her down. And I guess that is probably the better decision here. Also, she gave us last time a 2k, so okay. 8 into 5, so she needs to give us 2 cards, 2 2ks, or her whole hand. Okay. She's not able to do it, so we can go 8 a second time into life. And she still has the blocker, so let's see if she gives us the blocker. Excuse me, I'm kind of sleepy a little as always. So yeah, we make sure, like at this point, it's a really good situation. Like if the opponent gives you the blocker, you usually know. I mean, it could be also a trap, but it's usually a good sign to go into life, because otherwise she probably would have left the blocker still open and just go for her her counter cards, because now we are attacking with 10, so we have more Dawn left. So she needs, yeah, 3 6k. Okay, kind of close. Oh, yeah, she was one Dawn, 1k counter too short, which feels really unlucky for her, but really good for us for sure. Yeah, really lucky that we went there for life, and yeah, it paid out at this point. So yeah, really nice, really strong last turn from our side. So let's check out the decklist again. So I quite enjoyed the decklist. As you saw, it was not easy. Like I didn't really play it against a lot of high and strong meta decks. I just tried to go into some new decklists, like or like gameplays like this weekend. I sadly didn't had a lot of time for trying and checking out a lot of new decks like OP10 decks or EBO2, and also for going into meta decks. But I felt, as I checked the decks again, like, okay, Buggy is more like a medium deck. Nico Robin is probably a little stronger deck. The Sanji was a little unlucky that Sanji and Zoro, that was probably not the most experienced player, because the deck is really strong and probably a counter to our deck. So Yeah, and also the Yamato is kind of like a counter to our deck, especially in the early game for just going really ham and fast into our life and then KOing most of our character, maybe with trigger or something in the early game, like some blocker we establish or something, which can be really dangerous. So both of these decks are kind of strong, and the black structure deck Luffy, I felt like just like black in general is kind of strong against the leader because we depend really heavily on the big character, and if they can get rid of it, like more like the Newgate, because if you can get rid of it, as you saw in the Buggy or even in the Yamato Decklist, it feels really bad. Like our hand size gets really small, and we don't really get any benefits from it. Like maybe the Luffy a little less, but definitely the Newgate felt like a lost turn then. So yeah, not that easy in general to play against black decks with this deck, I think. So it has really nice options for curve. It doesn't really matter that's highly like if you start or if you go second. Of course you want to go second with the deck, but also the going first with the Nami, which you can also play on the second turn, but anyways, first turn definitely better. And the Zoro also feels not that bad, or the Nico Robin as a blocker, more like an early blocker, which is really nice. The 5 turn is a little bad, but you can play one of these and keep one Don open. So I feel like the um, off curve is also not that bad, because also on the events, like you sometimes depend a little on activating them or using them in the early game, especially the Divine Departure. So yeah, it's like really hard to say. Like even if I think about it, I know that a lot of people say that going second is the best for the deck, but sometimes I felt going first, especially against the rush deck, can be also good for, or like playing the off curve cards as a 4 turn, maybe playing Nico Robin, or in a 5 turn then the Bon Clay, to just always have one Don open for saving your life and countering out kind of big time. But anyways, I enjoyed the leader a lot. I tried to play the leader like maybe 2 weeks ago or something, and I lost a lot, so I gave up. So I felt like this new list, I also took it from One Piece top deck. So if you want to check out, they have a lot of cool deck lists. Yeah, just go to the site. You see like a lot of winning deck lists, also from the east and from the west. And there I took the deck list and just wanted to show you that Red Purple Luffy is definitely a strong deck and can fight against a lot of decks. You definitely need to think a little with the deck on the curve and what to play, what benefits you a lot, and trying to save your early game, but in the late game it feels really strong and you can overwhelm a lot of opponents. Yeah, more in the later game. Also the 6 power leader is really nice, but as I said, a lot of 6k attacks feels really bad or hurting a lot. So anyways, thank you for watching the video. Yeah, I hope you had some fun. Please write down below if you have some new additions for the deck, if you have some cards that you would include or cut out. Maybe you have an idea of which card is maybe not needed. I mean, arguably the one card of 2020 Chopper is not that important, but I actually quite enjoyed it. So yeah, please feel free to give your comment about the deck list and what you would like to do or do different in the future. And then see you in the next one. Bye.